All right, so we're just gonna go into the recap. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done this. Do I need to like? I might ignore chat a lot. Is the short version? Uh, Usually I try to do that, and then I talk more when we're doing prep stuff. Today's it whatever. If I finish a lot of sentences before I turn over and like read what people are saying, don't be surprised. Recap Pong. I'll be here to help. I will appreciate that. 100%. Yeah, fair. Yeah. Basically, I try to get through the recap pretty coherently, and I'll ignore questions that are like tangential or I won't go on too many tangents. Is the goal? I say going on a rather long tangent about procedure. Anyway. So anyone who was here for prep some time ago, a month ago, might remember that we were setting up for a chase scene because I've skipped a recap, and it's like a 2-week break, and then there was like it's been a lot. Do you play on Roll20? We play on Foundry. We used to play on Roll20, and then I had a swap over to Forge. No, Foundry VTT, which is running on a private server on Forge VTT. Gets a little confusing. Because some of my players like the presentation better. I like a lot of things about Foundry better. There's a lot of extensions. Just as a quick example, you can see there's like a dice tray. You can't see, because I'm on the wrong screen. There we go. You see that there's a dice tray down here. This is like an add-on. Wes followed me when I was offline, and I couldn't do the thing. Oh no! Yeah, this little like dice tray, you just like click all your dice, and then you hit roll. And then there's another extension with 3D dice that's gonna like toss all my dice, which runs way better than the version on Roll20. I'm gonna mention. And you can see there's like a calendar add-on down here. So that's the short version. I have a whole video where I explore it and everything, if you want me to like send you a link to that. But Foundry is great. I love Foundry so much. The only complaint I really have is that the player macros are a bit trickier than Roll20. They're not as accessible, but I think that'll also be fixed with extensions later that make it easier to make those things. So, hello Cam. I missed you. I feel really bad that I've missed so many like Pathfinder streams lately. And also I feel bad that I've missed like a good chunk of your streams. I don't know. My phone keeps crashing. So like all of my Twitch alerts, this is how I realize people are online, is I get Twitch alerts and I go through them. And I don't actually like look at Twitch much. Thank you. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that. Enjoy is 6 months a new break point? I don't think it is. Whatever. You have too many badges anyway. You're never gonna see how many months you've been subscribed. So, but thank you. As always, thank you for the support and for hanging out so much. I miss the Crab Lord and all the crab minions. And watching my hammer character destroy everyone's expectations by getting extremely lucky was enjoyable. Where was I? Ooh. Oh yeah, Pride Hay. That's a nice emote. I love the bees. Everyone who's watching the VOD later, That's fine. It's fine. Like, Pride Pog is the best. It's, like, my favorite thing. Alright. Nice map, thank you. This map, it's a whole story, and again, So, that thing I said about not going on tangents, fucking complete lie. Yeah, I put this map together in Wonderdraft. I did like a whole... It looked pretty bad at first. And then I like came up with a way to... I did some work to round robin all of the buildings, like a collection of city buildings. And I just clicked like 1,000 times over the map. And worked out great. worked out great. There was a lot of like troubleshooting and figuring out how to make it work during that night, which is kind of why I love like the prep sessions. It's very like organic, collaborative, a lot of problem solving, a lot of me looking real dumb for a while, and then coming up with solutions that work pretty all right, or not, sometimes not, but mostly they work out. Tried the program that Humble Bundle had for sale. Seems like a lot of functionality, but the learning curve is real. I really recommend Wonder Draft. Wonder Draft and Dungeon Draft are both amazing. And anything else is like, I'll get you for very specific circumstances. I basically got that bundle, the Humble Bundle, for like City Builder. Because like, I remember this being hard, you know? And like, this isn't exactly like a very detailed city map. It's very, very stylized. Let me give you an idea of what the city looks like map without actually telling you that much about it. Anyway, yeah. Like, this is not the map you want to pull up if you're an Uber driver in Eden. So I started to say this a couple of times. Last time we were prepping, we were setting up for a chase scene that I was pretty confident in. I don't know if I have the notes. We've got the notes somewhere. Ooh, stop eating? What do you mean? Oh, he's just AFK. Okay, that's fine. Whatever, it's fine. I don't need, it's fine. Let's see. Prep notes. How long? How long has it been? I think this is... Ah, yes. Here's the chase. Okay. The greatest Facebook comment argument I've seen in a long time. Fill me in. I want to know. If you're interested, if you're amused, I want to know. Let's just... Alright, we're going to try to keep some of this... Alright, so we set up this chase, right? We set up some obstacles with some, like, skill checks to overcome them. You know, figuring out what skills they would need, what would be allowed, the different difficulties and stuff. And, like, the kind of progression and like, where the Sand Mage was going to start. It's fine, Moto. It doesn't exist. But you saw. They voted pretty well in your favor. You guys had good charisma checks. It's fine. Don't worry about it. They're on your side. So we were like, this is a little weird, but we followed the Pathfinder rules for putting together a chase. We're like, let's try to use these and see how it goes. And as I was setting it up, the whole time, I was like, I'm worried. Now, I know that Sonus is going to cast, like, 3 things that make him, like, fly and move, like, 60 feet, 70 feet per round. And, like, give him extra movement actions. Like, he's going to cast all of these, and he's going to be way the fuck ahead of the party. And these rules don't like that. The rules for Pathfinder chases are all about, like, overcoming obstacles together with the power of friendship and the party, and like, one person's good skill checks make up for another person's bad skill checks. All that kind of stuff. What actually happened is exactly that. Where Sonus just, like, it's like, I'm gonna fly and move real fucking fast. And he just... The first obstacle... well, there's some sand constructs and decoys that hop out. And that's fine. That's fine. The players rolled really well to avoid those. And then there was a sand wall that the Sand Mage put up, erected in front of the party. And Sonus just fucking flew over it. Like, we knew this was gonna happen. Sonus just flew over it. The thing I didn't expect to happen was, like, Ludwig also was like, I'm not gonna follow the party as they go to chase the Sand Mage. I'm gonna stay behind, and I'm gonna get Ludwig. I'm gonna allow my... No. What's his name? I'm Blevin. I'm gonna let my familiar fly, my alchemical familiar. I'm gonna make him fly, and I'm gonna send him ahead with Sonus, and he's gonna keep up with Sonus and try to get the Sand Mage, and they're gonna work together. So we had, like, immediately, and Moto disagrees with me on this, but we had Ludwig back here. Like, Ludwig is not even at this obstacle. Ludwig is at obstacle fucking 0. I can't edit from here. Ludwig is at obstacle 0. The street. And he sends Blevin ahead. Blevin, like, catches up to the party by way of flying and moving faster. And like, so party gets kind of here, Sonus gets here, and over it, and, like, catches up to the guy in, like, on second round. So, like, the party is in, like, 3 different locations, basically. I was not prepared for that, basically. Like, it devolves from there. My players said it was, like, interesting, but it was, like, confusing, not very cohesive. I felt like it wasn't very cohesive. It was kind of a shit show. Still exciting, they said, until, like, kind of towards the end. They liked kind of the narrative way it flowed, but, like, it felt like it kind of fizzled at the end. Because, like, you have the entire party, like, way back here, and then you have, like, Sonus, like, catching up to the guy, basically, like, way out ahead. Pathfinder rules tend to function in that way. Semantics get in the way of flavor a lot. Yeah, I like... the short version is that my players were treating it as a combat while I was trying to, like, glue and hold and squeeze together these chase rules. And I should have, like... I should have let something give, I guess. Or, here's the branch. The path I took is do both things. Like, try to take what my players are saying and put it into these chase rules as best I can. And try to allow them to, you know, just trying to have the cake and eat it too. Like, let the party split up, let them all have their own actions, let them all be at different locations and doing different things at the same time. While also trying to, like, keep track of the chase stuff for the enemy. And what I should have done is either full combat, scrap the chase, just do full combat, or, like, and, you know, he can run away with the movement rules and all of that. Which I think still would have ended in about the same way. I think they still would have gotten there. I think the guy still would have gotten away with the spells he had. Like, because the thing that happened at the end is Sonus caught up, and then, like, the guy turned invisible and went into a crowd, and Sonus, like, messed up the skill checks. He rolled low on those final skill checks to, like, figure out where this invisible guy is. And to, like, follow him. And, just a really large mobility disparity, yeah. And, like, kind of the weird thing is, like, if Sonus wasn't up there ahead of the party, if Sonus had helped the party all get there, they would have had... Sonus had 3 perception checks to figure out where this guy was. Like, kind of failed the first one and then, like, ran off in a random direction, didn't pick the right direction. If instead there had been 4, maybe 5, if you include Blevin, times 3 perception checks, like 15, like 12 to 15 perception checks, someone would have fucking known where that invisible mage was, right? So, like, the fact that Sonus got out ahead and was, like, kind of hitting this scene, kind of, like, prompting him to turn invisible early, kind of messed up the chase scene for... It made it harder, because he didn't have all of those perception checks, right? Didn't have all of the tools that a full party would have to catch, like, an invisible asshole. So it just kind of fizzled. It felt like Sonus had no way to handle that situation. Felt like, you know, they do all this chasing and then the guy just poofs. So I think it felt anticlimactic. Part of that is that Sonus took a while to figure out which action he wanted to take while discovering where this invisible guy was. And that, like, slowed down the end of the scene at a point where I kind of knew it was over, right? He did come up with some interesting ideas, but, like, it took, his turn took a really long time. Not that our party is very good at catching invis people. Yeah, but like 4 people looking for disturbances in the crowd is better than 1. And I guess it was 2, because you were up top and you like tried to relay to Sonus where he was and everything, but it, you know, it's different than having everyone there together. So yeah. To go back to what I was saying before, if I had like put up some graphics and like slowly revealed these obstacles, if I had like some crappy art of like an MS Paint thing going left to right, of just like, here's obstacle 1, roll your stuff to get over it. Like if I had forced the chase rules, instead of trying to do both, I think it would have been a more enjoyable experience. It would have been smoother, certainly. It would have felt a little more rigid, but it would have, like, you know, I should be free as the GM to at some point say, like, this is the thing we're doing right now. It's like, this isn't a combat, this is a this thing. And at least say, like, you're going to have a better chance at this if you work together rather than going off separately. And another way I could have said that, like, I could have outright said that, or when Sonus flies over the sand wall, I could have had him get hit with, like a 12d6 or whatever it was, like, hydraulic push that the guy just had ready to go. Like, either of those could have said the same thing, right? Yeah. So those are kind of my thoughts there. It's... Most of those numbers might be wrong. I haven't looked at it in a month, so... I'm spitballing the hydraulic push. It might be lower than that. But... Anyway, it's always hard because you want to give people freedom to be creative, but at the same time know that certain scenes are well served by being rigid. Yeah. Like, I don't know why, you know, everyone's fine with combat being rigid. Everyone's fine with being like, here are the combat rules. So I think it would also be fine if I was just like, we're using chase rules. Like, you need, I'm gonna hide this from you, but you need enough points to catch up to this guy before he, like, reaches enough points to escape. You know? Like I said, be clear that, like, I'm gonna hide all this from you. You're not gonna see what point totals are, but, like, you know, that's what we're doing, is you want to accumulate points through these skill checks to catch up. And I think that would have been fine, probably would have been cool. It's, like, different, you know. That's just the phase of the game we were in, so I should have just said that, so. Yeah. So that was the chase. That took up, that took up a lot of the session. It's partially, again, because everyone was in combat mode while I was running a chase. If I had said it was a chase and just like, here, let's get your skill checks as we're going through, it would have gone faster. 12d6 is nothing. 12d6 is an average of, hello Wes, by the way. 12d6 isn't a ton. It is, like, max damage is less than some of you guys have in health at this point, or at least close, right? 3.5, yeah, it's 42, right. And max damage being 72? Yeah? Max damage being 72, that's like... I think Ludwig can not get one shot if this guy rolls all max damage, which is, you know, not saying it's nothing, but, and yeah, minimum being 12. What level is the party? Party is level 6 now. I don't know, they might have been 5 at the time of, they might have been 5 at the time of the chase, I don't remember. But, yeah, they're 6 at the moment. You were 6? Yeah, okay. I kind of thought so. I wasn't 100% sure. The Eden sessions are blending together a little bit. Just about to hit their next big power spike. Yeah, they get, like, next level spells next level, and they got a lot of class features this level. It's a pretty big deal. The rest of that session was less notable. I will say I introduced this Sand Mage. It's kind of like a big deal character. The party later found out that he was a companion of the Emperor before the Emperor sealed the gods away. And they spent a significant amount of the rest of that session figuring that out. But, like, I feel like introducing this character there kind of hijacked some of the rest of the session. I already talked to the party about this, and they think we've gone back and forth about a lot of this a lot. So Moto, I'm sorry that some of this is definitely like just retreading the same territory, and is reductive compared to all we've talked about. But yeah, the rest of the session was more investigation, all about this guy. Well, the previous session had been investigation about like the council and trying to figure out who's shady there. There's a lot of political stuff going on. Basically trying to figure out, like, a couple of things. Like, who is working... Who's been trying to kill the party? Because the party's been assaulted by these, like, sand assassins a few times. Turns out it was a sand mage, but the party didn't know that at the time. The secret is everyone's shady. The secret, actually, is that not enough of the council is shady. It's me. I've been trying to kill the party. That makes sense. That makes sense. Like, if we want to go big picture for a minute, which, like, we'll talk about in a bit, like, the campaign would have been way more dramatic if it was, like, 70% of the council is dumpster shit, awful, garbage human beings. Elf beings. And just, like, really scummy. But, like, the way I set it up was, like, a lot of these are, like, the Emperor's handpicked people, and he was a good guy, so it doesn't make sense that they're shitty, but fuck that. I should have just made it shitty. Should have made the council shitty for maximum drama, and, like, backfilled the reason why they became shitty. Like, should have baseline assumed that everyone was garbage. It would have been way more interesting. Would have been way more dramatic. Most of my characters don't care. One cared a lot, I think. So we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah. So I should have signaled that session basically that the Sand Mage is like a big deal, but he's not really he's not the man behind the man. He's like the man in front of the man. He's like he's a minion, basically. He wasn't like the big schemer. He was a guy working for someone else. So like, basically they spent a lot of time investigating this new character who was harder to investigate than the people they were actually chasing. Zavzavarus. They are similarly grumpy. It's true. Could have them be good people, but have differing reasons on how they became shitty. Yeah, whether it's magical charms, extortion, actually being douchey. Yeah, there's like a lot of reasons for good people to do shitty things. And I should have done more work on that front. Part of... We went really... we swung really far from adventuring party, just politics. Like, it went from one side to the other like that. And I knew it was going to happen, but I wasn't prepared for it to happen. Like, I kind of was starting to prep the right stuff. I don't know. Let's just say I've learned, like, a lot from the last two sessions. On the investigation stuff, I have a habit of letting the sandbox and letting the players interact with it. And so it let them kind of investigate people for like 2 sessions in a row, maybe like 2.5 sessions in a row, without... Like, I felt like they were picking up good pieces of information, and occasionally they would say things, and I'd be like, fuck yeah, they're on the right track. They're so close. They're so close! And then they'd, like, jump to a new thread. Because I was like, there were too many... like, I basically... My theory is, if I give you 7 threads to pull on, like, what I know is that all of the threads are going to lead where you want. Or at least 6 out of the 7 threads are going to lead where you want. The party took it as, oh god, we've been investigating this thread. He threw us another thread. Now we have to go look at that thread. And it was a lot of, like, round robin of the threads. And to them, it felt like they weren't getting the key piece of information that they needed to take action. In my opinion, political intrigue is surprisingly enticing plot hook in D&D campaigns. Yeah, I think my... I've said this to my players, I think my council of 10 people was a lot. It's a lot for me to handle. I underestimated how hard that would be. So... Political intrigue is great. Having a situation where, like, the party's going into a room with 10 people who all need to have very strong opinions. That's a little hard. It's it's tough. It's tough. I could have, I don't know. Yeah. It was a lot. Could have handled that better. Could have avoided that situation. Then, I had a little side session with Sonus and Ludwig, aka Connor and Nathan, and they went to question one particular character who was on the council, which is good place to start, and he gave them, like, I'm gonna say several bombshells in terms of, like, voting records on some stuff, and, like, they said some things. They gave the NPC some information. They gave him some information that they figured out, basically. Some, like, you know, that this old hero was, like, going around assassinating people, tried to assassinate, you know, the party and several other key NPCs. And, a couple of other things. Just some, like, you know, I don't remember. It's been a little while. But they said some things that, like, piqued the NPCs, like, oh shit, that's a big deal, sense. And then he, in turn, like, shared some of his suspicions with the party, and it gave the party a pretty clear idea that, that the army was doing some shady shit. The council member, like, at the top of the army was doing some shady shit. And also that, this other council member had, like, always voted with him and was shady in his own right, basically. Yeah. So that gave them this, like, side session that took, like, less than an hour. Gave the party way more than, like... It gave them something more solid than basically most of the investigation they'd done the previous session. Like, the actual session. And, I probably could have done more to make that happen during the session. Probably could have prompted it. I will say that I tried. There was, like, a letter that came from Eve's father, the council member that Sonus and Ludwig went to talk to get this information. He sent a letter being like, hey guys, you have this quest item that will allow you to take the throne. I know that you have it. Why aren't you doing that? So, like, I kind of tried to prompt the party to interact with this character a little bit, and it just kind of didn't happen, which is fine. It's fine. Yeah. I think that's basically all I have to say about the investigation.